throw a question out. Sorry, I want to throw a question out because I don't want to run out of time on this about Odegaard. I'll throw this to Nathan, but it's on that conversation piece. Is there a better attacking midfielder stroke number 10 in the Premier League right now than Martin Odegaard?
He's definitely up there as one of the best. I mean, for me, what makes Odegaard so special is not he's not really just a final third output type of player. He's involved in all facets of the game. He comes deep to contribute. You know, he'll take the ball off the back four. He'll dictate play. He'll move the ball between the lines. You'll see him pick it up in different pockets. And he's an overall player, and he's a bit of a throwback in the sense of a lot of times when we look at 10s, we're expecting GA, but he's also someone who kind of, you know, for all the eye test merchants, he's easy on the eye. He's very silky, quick, you know, with his dribbles, where he's able to evade challenges, come out of press. So for me, he's very different to the likes of, say, you know, KDB or Maddison or De Bruyne. I feel like his game is a bit more of a throwback, but for me, he's definitely one of the best available in the world at the moment. And in regards to just the previous question, I think one of the things we're talking about what's made Arsenal tick. I think very simply, players are playing in their rightful positions. I mean, when you have a right footer playing left back in Jurriën Timber, and I'm a big fan of Jurriën Timber, but it really distorts the balance of the team, right? There's a level of angle bias in which way he can play out. He's not comfortable going down the line using his left foot, and just simply having people in who are comfortable on their strong side, Timber on the right, Calafiori on the left, really makes a big difference to Arsenal playing. So I think it's a combination of players playing in their rightful position on their stronger side, and also players playing in their actual position. So we had a big portion where you had players like Trossard and Havertz playing in midfield. And for me, that's where Arteta really, really made a serious error, because that's not their positions. And you put in square pegs and round holes. And that could have easily been avoided. So I think it's easy to kind of look at it and be like, Odegaard's fix everything. But I think it's a combination of the fact that you've got a natural player. The quality of Odegaard is obviously shining through, but also there's a player playing in his natural positions and players are playing in their best positions. And that creates a sort of symmetry and balance within the team. So for me, that's...
So Saka on the left and Martinelli on the right then?
No, but I'm saying to you, how we use our wingers is a completely different thing to how we use our fullbacks.
And I was just messing with you, bro.
Yeah. yeah.
By the way,
sorry, go on, Brandon. I just want to do the super chat. Elisa, thank you very much. A huge donation to the Football Terrace. I want to say thank you. It says here, answer is very simple. Fullbacks are playing in their natural sides. Arteta has released the handbrake, remove the emotion, the fear factor you are referring to happened from January last year, which was right. We have played conservatively to start the season 2 years running. And Joe is really interesting about that. And where this is not an excuse, so please nobody get triggered and start making excuses, because I think 2 of the red cards came from mistakes and ill discipline for Arsenal. But had you not have had those 3 red cards, there's a very strong argument you'd be 4 points, maybe 6 points, maybe 9 points. And no, you could have been 9 points because you got draws in 2 of them, but you get my point. Maybe 7 points better off than you are right now. And if you were, the conservative start probably wouldn't have bothered anybody because the results came in. And that isn't an excuse, because in the end, for want of a few reasons, it went wrong. The approach went wrong because you didn't have as good a start as you wanted. But that's why and I mean, you and I, Brandon, had this conversation a few weeks ago when you said, I don't see where a performance comes from. I understood the frustration. I understood the criticism. What I didn't understand is how a team that's played a lot of beautiful football in the last 2.5 years, to have the view that you don't know when whether they can produce that again. That was the only element I didn't agree with, because there's enough evidence to say they can play like they did today, like they did against Sporting, like they did against Forest last week. They probably had to start doing that a little bit earlier than they maybe wanted because of the 9-point gap potentially. Because I felt last year's conservative start was to ensure that you still had legs at the end of the season. Said it then, stand by it again. Now City start seasons quite slowly. Even Liverpool that are winning a lot, let's not act like they're playing football at 100 miles an hour. It's very controlled, which we're praising, by the way. But you've got to get the results with it. Because if Liverpool had dropped points in some of these games, their fans would say it's too slow. We're not playing it with enough speed. Sorry, go on, Brandon.
I agree with that super chat, and I agree with what Nathan just said as well. But I also think the manager needs to take a little bit more credit as well. Oh my God, Arteta hater praising Arteta. No, the reason why I said at that point, where I didn't feel like I knew where there was a performance coming from. I think our biggest problem stemmed from the midfield. I don't think a midfield of Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Mikel Merino is anywhere near mobile enough or creative enough, and that was hurting our attack as well. So Odegaard being back is definitely key. I think the managers took the shackles off the players, allowed us to be a bit more free flowing going forward. And like I just said, we haven't seen a midfield of Mikel Merino, Thomas Partey, and Declan Rice in the past 3 games. Now all of a sudden you're starting to see Arsenal create chances in abundance. You know, the fullbacks as well being in their natural positions, players being in their natural positions, as Nathan pointed out. It all helps. And these are all things Mikel Arteta was getting wrong. You know, Mikel Arteta, in my opinion, was overthinking them games that we had in our first 10, 11 games. I know they're difficult games, and you have to be a bit more conservative, but I think he kind of outdid himself a little bit in a way by overthinking things, you know, playing Partey.
Odegaard was injured for 2 months. Like, how was he overthinking? Like, what was he going to do when the player that he needed to make the midfield mobile is injured, and he has to work with what he has? And we know that those 3 together are not as mobile. I mean, the only thing you can do is try to get through that difficult time without losing as many games as a manager, managing as much as you can, because there's no miracle you're going to perform. Merino is not going to turn into an Odegaard, and that's why he tried to use Trossard as in that position. Trossard did well in a couple of games and then fell off. So as a manager, you can work with what you have. If your players are injured, you're going to have to figure a way out not to lose. And I think he did the best he could with those players. So
that's where I slightly disagree with you, because when in them games, I know it's hindsight now, and you'd probably say, you know, that he went with these 3 in midfield because they're the most experienced players. But in hindsight, I think he could have afforded to play an Ethan Nwaneri a bit more. He could have afforded to play a bit more of an attack-minded midfielder in there with a Partey and a Rice, or a Partey and a Merino or Rice.
And if the outcome was the same result that we got with Merino, Rice, and Partey, if the result that we got with Ethan in that role,
but they were crazy for taking a risk.
Can I throw this in? Because I want to get the audience involved as well, guys. There's a super chat from earlier from Jeffrey that says, "I love the continuous rotation." Again, from an outsider looking in your last 3 games, the rotation has been not just widespread, but he's got it right 3 games running as well, in terms of like the majority of your squad has played matches, some nice early substitutions, multiple people getting involved with goal scoring. I mean, I don't think this is your squad has won these last 3 games more than anything else, or am I misreading that as an outsider?
I do think that there's also another thing, the elephant in the room. Odegaard's back for 3 games. We scored 13 goals. let's not forget that, because the guy just gives us so much more freedom on the pitch. Like, he releases Bukayo Saka, and Bukayo Saka in the last 3 games with Odegaard being back after the international break has a goal and assist in every game, and this game had 2 assists, a goal, and 1 a penalty also. So I do think that whole right-hand side is unlocked with Odegaard, Saka, and what do you call it, Timber. And the reason why it's not Timber's just overlapping for no reason. I do agree the handbrake has been taken off. We do have easier fixtures now. This is our time to start getting our goal difference up. This is our time to get ourselves going again. And we're going to be staying in London. All these guys are going to have home cooked meals all their nights in their at home in their normal bed. They're not going to be traveling to any away grounds. They're not going to be leaving London for the whole December. This is a time where festive period, everyone's struggling because they have to go all across the country, and it's going to be very comfy for Arsenal. So we need to capitalize. And to the people who overreacted after, maybe it was deserved to react that way at the time, but there was always issues that could easily be addressed with a couple players coming back and Mikel Arteta making a couple tweaks. Today, no Moreno, no Partey. We didn't really miss them because Jorginho stepped up, Declan Rice returned, and they both played very, very well. Centre-back situation. Gabriel Magalhaes came off after 49 minutes. We were already 5-2 up. We didn't really have to worry about defending too much after that. And then the attack. Trossard came in for Martinelli, and we didn't miss a beat. I thought Martinelli should have started this game. Trossard wasn't having the best of times. What a pass. Defensively, he slipped up 1 second, but what a pass for Kai Havertz. By the way, Kai Havertz has equaled his record for goals at Chelsea already. 49 games. It took him 91 games to get 26 goals at Chelsea. He's already gotten that at Arsenal, and he's on 10 GA in the Premier League already this season. People don't like talking about GA, but Bukayo Saka is one off Mo Salah, who people are touting as player of the season. So if we're talking about Mo Salah as the player of the season candidate, Bukayo Saka, best believe, is going to be in that conversation if we win the league. And I don't want to hear about is he or is he not world class. We've been speaking about this, me and you, Terry, for 3 years now. When are people going to get it through their heads? The guy went from getting 14 GA to getting 25 GA to getting 34 GA to now in 12 games has 10 assists. He's coming for that Premier League assist record. That Premier League assist record this season will be broken by Bukayo Saka. Best believe. With 13 games, he's already gotten 10 assists. We are going to not only get 10 assists, he's going to break it with maybe some games to spare. And I think I'm changing.
Is it
19 right now?
What is the record? 19.
20.
KDB and Mo Salah. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry both have the 20 assist record.
20.
I think he will break it. And also, I'm going to say this right now. I'm changing my player of the season. I had it as Saliba. I thought our defense was going to carry us. I think Bukayo Saka is going to be the player of the season if we go on to win this league. And Liverpool, you know what? Enjoy yourselves. 6-point lead. You guys win your game versus Man City. You might go back to 9. But when we do get even, because we will get even points at some point, we will catch up to you guys. You guys are going to drop points. And right now we have a favorable schedule. I do think we're going to continue this good run. When we do get level, when we level the score field, when we level the playing field, then we'll see who can really go on. Because I think from now for the remainder of the season, we have favorable fixtures. We've gotten a lot of the tough grounds out of the way. We faced the Man Cities away, the Aston Villas away, the Chelsea's away, the Newcastle's away. When we go on this run and we go on and win 10 plus games in a row, and everyone's looking, wow, how did Arsenal do this? Remember the craziness you guys were speaking. Because I personally believe this team is capable of doing it. I just needed them to show me what they could do. And now that they're showing it, we might be peaking. We might just be starting. Forget peaking. We might be just getting started at the perfect time. But yeah, Terry, I love you, bro. I gotta go.
Trimless, do you agree with what Agawa just said there?
No, obviously, as I said before in the other podcast, my hope's already been sucked out. So I'm more of a chill vibe, the spectating with this team. So I need to see it because I'm in a situation now where I'm still kind of, as I said, scarred. But I'm hoping we can overcome the past trauma and this time kick it on. This is the best time we've seen City not being the best they can. But I'm still not getting too gassed like other Arsenal fans are. I know a lot of people screaming we're back. I haven't had a sip of the Sauce juice yet. Obviously, he's very ecstatic. I hear it. I'm just a bit more reserved in it. But quickly as well, just going to say one thing I do want to highlight is the small things for me. I'm very happy that we went 45 minutes with Kiwior on the pitch and we didn't concede. That was a very happy thing for me. You know, I almost shook a little bit after the game. So that was nice. And Jorginho, because when I saw the lineup today, I saw Jorginho. I was a bit, because Partey's been cooking. And Georgie coming in, and you know he did his thing. He did his thing today, and he looked like he had legs as well. Like I don't know if he's been saving that, but he got around. So I was very happy. And Ødegaard, I used to pray for times like these, man. This is beautiful. So long may it continue. But at this moment, Terry, I'll be real. I'm just taking it one game at a time. I'm not even getting too excited. I'll be real. I'm so reserved.
And I think that's how most Gooners are taking it. If I'm being honest, of course, it doesn't mean you have to. You know, everyone's free to do what they want.